Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 24th of June. So, let's have a look at these markets. Starting off, news-wise, well, of course, the key news this morning, possible key news is that there's been a truce called between Iran and Israel, and probably the US as well, in amongst all of that. So that's got that out of the way potentially, and the markets are certainly running on that as a given. So let's look at what we got coming out in terms of fundamental point of view. And there's not a great deal. We got the Bank of England governor speaking this morning. He's due to deliver the opening remarks of Britain's return to the gold standard in 1925. Okay. Oh, it's not probably going to hold up too much then at the moment. We've got else aside of that. We've got Canadian news at 1:30, inflation, and Bailey speaking again later. What's that? House of Lords. Oh, okay, that's more like it. So 3 p.m. we should see a bit more action. In fact, we got Powell also at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. Watch out for some volatility around that point of view. Lagarde also speaking at 2. Nice opening responses. No, okay, not interested in those. Right, yesterday's data, just a brief update. The French data came in pretty poorly there, but after that there was generally either in line or positive surprises throughout the rest of the PMI data. The German figures, European as a whole, stayed flattish as expected, and UK figures slightly better, US slightly better. Anyway, that's what we got in store today in terms of news. Now let's look at opportunities. Now the opportunities, as you probably would have gathered, are a bit thin on the ground initially, because if you look through any charts, we've seen these sort of quite biggish moves to the upside as the dollar's been sold off, gold's been sold off, oil's been sold off. It's been right the way across the board there. Equity markets are up by some way, and it's all sort of happened. It started happening yesterday. It's pushed all the way through today. The euro dollar at the moment, just looking at where we are with these markets, it is double topping, and it might get a bit of selling coming into that point. The fact that it is back into its monthly R2. It'll be interesting to see the reaction. There's no real reaction or reason why the euro should be flying off at some big lick or anything like this. A bit of relief initially maybe, but we'll see how this reacts. We could get a move down if we start seeing it selling through this morning. I would look towards the pivot, but I don't like it when it's hit the R1 first. It reduces the probability of the pivot. It's all about knowing your stats, isn't it? The pound, well, good old rally as well yesterday into this morning so far. Again, we're running into some resistance areas. We've got the quarterly pivot just above us here. This is the R2 pivot sitting up there, quarterly R2, but it's reacted into that at the moment. Now, like the euro, we're in the same sort of area where here we've got resistance and we've got untouched daily pivots. We'll see what they start doing this morning. I'll give them some time to see if they react and come back downwards, but nothing obvious there. Right, the US dollar yen. So we again saw a bit of a recovery in the strength of the yen against the US dollar here. The US dollar is just rolling back. It's done a sharp old move. It's done everything now on the weekly point of view, on the weekly pivots, and well, it's right the way through its S1 here. Maybe got scope to run down even further towards its S2. But it's quite a long way away. It had such a volatile day yesterday. You notice today's pivots are quite stretched out, and often you need to look, when they're stretched as wide as this, you'd look at the halfway points. Something that I don't need to talk about these days so much because we don't get the volatility once did, but the midpoints between pivots become in play the bigger the gap. So nothing immediately I'm seeing there. The Aussie dollar, rallied here. Still ugly as sin, isn't it? I don't even know why I look at it. I looked at it yesterday, and it's just a poor choice of currencies to be looking at. This looks interesting. The Canadian dollar here, maybe even on a swing basis. I was surprised at one stage why it was softening quite as much, but it's not caught the R1. It's got its pivot here on the weekly basis as a potential, and on the shorter time frames, well, it's almost into the S1, but a break of this S1 opens up opportunities in towards the S2, maybe beyond, as we go through the next few days. Depends on if the ceasefire can hold, and we see more positivity come from that point of view. We could see this rolling back. I think, as I say, from a daily point of view, I really quite like what it's done here. The shooting star into the 50 MA just underneath the monthly pivot there. It all looks quite nice. The fact it's selling off now, it could even be well, let's wait until tomorrow sort of trade and swing it down, but it does look half decent. Just a reminder on it though, it can go into the doldrums shortly after 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, certainly after 10 o'clock, between 10 and 12 it often goes into the proper doldrums, and can be quite choppy, so make sure you leave stops that are wide enough if you're going to take this. I would be looking above the highs here. Okay, New Zealand dollar. Hang on a minute, it was the same again. It was too similar to the Aussie. Now we've got these sort of, with both the Aussie and the New Zealand dollar at the moment, they're putting these sort of pivot swinging type moves in, but they're just so choppy, otherwise I'll just leave them. There's better opportunities. The Canadian dollar looks about the best at the moment from a bigger picture. Swissy, well, the Swissy's still gaining slightly. We'll see how things develop here. We could see this coming off a little bit more, but this might be better for the pivot, etc. So the overall long side is the favoured side on this. It's back into its monthly R1 where it sits at the moment, finding maybe a bit of support. If things calm down, the Swissy might just, as a safety currency, may give way a little. Dollar yen, euro yen, one of my favourites, but it's just at the moment, well, could be heading back towards its weekly pivot there at some stage, and that might still give us a decent buying point as opposed to trying to sell down towards it as it's already hit the R1. Lower highs coming through on that as well, looking soft. From a short-term basis here, it's looking pretty rough. Okay, that's pretty much hit the majors there. So opportunities a bit thin on the ground there on the major crosses, but the Canadian dollar probably the best of the bunch at this stage, with the best opportunity. I'm going to look through the crosses in the trading room in a short while. Aside of that, let's just go and have a look at usual suspects. At gold off 1.3% at the moment. Now this was tracking its way southbound anyway, and it's just looking that little bit softer. It's it might be finding some support into its S1 on the weeklies. Lower highs coming through here. Yeah, softish overall gold at the moment, but it's already down to its daily S2. It doesn't give us a lot of scope to run a lot further. We've probably already seen the reaction to the news. Oil, well, looking at the dailies there, bearish engulfing. We followed through on that this morning. Trump was calling for cuts in the price of oil and telling the drillers to drill more yesterday. Well, aside of that, then we've also seen what could be positive for oil. It's ran up on the fear and the continuation of the war there, and if a ceasefire holds, this could be back into it sort of the range we were seeing it previously in April-May time. But for now, nothing that I want to try and jump on. We might just get some retracements as short profit taking occurs. The equity markets, S&P's looking, well, after a bullish old day yesterday, continuation, taking out the highs there, morning in, taking out the highs, looking quite positive at the moment. It was starting to shape up yesterday quite well, but it's for now. Again, we might just get a bit of a retrace. I'm going to apply a regression channel on it at some stage, but there's a channel that's running through there that it might just come back towards. It's over pushed there. Just the Dow is equally up quite a bit there. We're seeing all these US markets up. The FTSE up not quite so much, just under 0.5%, but it's the overall pattern there was curving around. Maybe we'll see some more, but I'm looking at this price action and wondering if we'll see a break below its weekly pivot there. If it does, we could just see a bit of a continuation. Things aren't that good in the UK, and I'm just sort of you start scratching your head while they're doing well. Okay, there's many of the constituent stocks of the FTSE are drawing in profits, etc., worldwide, not just the UK. So that obviously has to be taken into account. The lower time frames also looking on a bit on the shabby side at the moment. The DAX has been in a decent downtrend in the near term. If I can just pull this up here, it's caught itself a bit of a bounce back into its monthly pivot, but we'll see what comes of this. I'm just sort of looking at it's gone so far today. I haven't got a sell opportunity sitting there quite yet, but something more may come of it. Okay, right, that's pretty much done there. I asked my email address there. There you go. Oh, wrong keyboard. Let's use the right keyboard. There you go. Right, okay. I shall leave you there. I wish you a good day's trading. Good luck in, as I say, the Canadian dollar, in summary, looks to me like an opportunity waiting to occur, but just watch out for the any retracements this morning. Right, catch you later.